What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan and Josh. How's it going, Josh? I'm doing all right. Glad to get back on here and talk because you were looking at the only 5-0 of the week. We had a great week. Yeah, you're outstanding. We'll look at the records here in a second. I want to shout out the Throwback Rams St. Louis Todd Gurley rookie year jersey. It was very hard when they left me, but I'm over it now because I'm a Jags fan. But I haven't repped this jersey since they've left, so it feels good to get it back on. Oh yeah, their uniforms are ugly. I don't know what they were thinking. We're trying a new program here. We look a little different, but this allows us to go to Spotify. So we will be using this program. It's going to look weird on the YouTube, but it's what we got. And then we are going to. It's going to look better on. It's going to look better on YouTube. Or sorry, it's going to sound better on TikTok. I can't even talk. It's going to sound better on Spotify and look better on TikTok. And we're going to start putting us on TikTok. So let's go ahead, Josh, and let's look at the weekly picks and let's see how we did on the picks. If it. I wonder why this is not sharing. We're trying something new again, so cut us a little bit of slack here. You know what? I can just do it on my Streamlabs. So, there it goes. Except I'm on the wrong week. So week 6 looks a little bit like this. Josh with a perfect week 5-0. You see all greens there. Will 3-2, but Ram 3-2. Bobby 4-1, and I went 5-0. Yep, the only person who did well that's at the bottom of the standings is Garrett at 18-12 with a 3-2 week. Everybody else from 19-11 down went 2-3. And yeah, it was brutal. Me and you had a lot of the same picks, and I was kind of like, oh my god, if Josh doesn't do well, I don't do well this week. But I felt good after a little bit after seeing that we had the same picks. Yeah. Yeah, and we want to say it was an easy week to pick, but the 49ers did get beat. The Eagles got beat. The Bills should have got beat. The Dolphins started off down 14-0. The Chiefs, who did the Chiefs play again? I don't have it up right now. Broncos, and ugly game. I mean, it was a 19-8 game. So it seemed like an easy week. The Bengals almost got beat, which only one person took that. The other took the Seahawks. Lions didn't have a doubt. I don't think our unders really had a doubt. I think it was an ugly week for football. It was. Let's go through each game. The first game was the Denver KC game. Me and Ram talked about it a little bit during the picks. But that was an ugly game, and I expected KC at home. I know it's Thursday night, but I expected more than a 19-8 game. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, after the 49ers played like that against Cleveland, and the Eagles have been in close ones all year, and the Chiefs haven't looked great. The Bengals haven't looked great. The Ravens, for how good they are right now, haven't looked great. The Jags, are the Lions the best team of football right now? They are 5-1. They had their best player out 2 weeks ago and still put up 42 points with Amon-Ra St. Brown. The Lions are just straight out balling. They might have Jared Goff is good. I have Josh Allen in my fantasy league, and I'm like, you know what? Like, it wouldn't hurt to trade Josh Allen if I can get Jared Goff back in the trade. The Lions might be the best team in football. But anyway, back to KC. Not impressive. T. Swift was there. We have to always make that statement. But Donnie Kelsey was too. Pat Mahomes threw 306 yards and 124 into Travis Kelsey. I think they're just too one-dimensional, and I think when they get down to the red zone, they know where the ball's going, and you got to either pound in with Pacheco. No, none at all. I mean, they got speed, and I don't think they use it correctly. Right, and I think that they could. I think that they could, even if it's a 1-year rental in T Higgins this year. But I don't think they'll have the cap to re-sign him, or they can. I mean, there's always a way to get cap. Let's be real. But yeah, something. And Pittman's been balling out too. We can talk about that when we get there. The Lunder strikes again. 24-16. The Lunder was 3-0. Ravens beat the Titans in a field goal fest. Tucker kicks 6 field goals. The Titans kicked 3 field goals. But with that being said, I thought this was an entertaining game. Yeah, I mean, they were completely... If the Ravens score 1 touchdown in the first half, they blow the game out. Yeah. It was 18-3 at halftime, and then they just... Again, like, the Titans just kept falling. And that's credit to Mike Vrabel, who's a good coach, but I don't think the Titans should have been in the game. Tannehill's bad. And, yeah. Why are we... But why aren't we giving Will Levis a shot in Tennessee when Malik Willis is not good? I mean, I think that he had the touchdown drive was because Spears was so electric on that reception. I think it was a 48-yard reception. Other than that, like, Will Levis didn't wow me. Oh no, sorry, Malik Willis. I mean, yeah, he wasn't bad. 4 for 5 for 74 yards, but he had opportunities last year, and one of his receptions was 48 yards. So his other 3 receptions went for about 20 something. So not many. I think Will Levis needs a shot over in Tennessee, because you know what you right now you know what you got, and you know what you got in Malik Willis. Yeah. This game was kind of interesting. The Commanders 24, another 24-16 game. Commanders 24. Ritter's first home loss ever. But what was interesting to me, let me get the exact yardage up real quick. The Falcons had 402 yards, and yeah, and they lost, and they weren't. I don't think they were in the game, to be honest. They went up 7-3, but then at halftime they were down 17-10, and it was 24-10. But 402 yards to 193 yards, and they lost. If I showed you that, if I just said, hey, Falcons had 402 yards, Commanders had 193, would you expect them to lose 24-16? My thing, hi Haley. My thing is that Bijan, they were saying it during the game. They have a shot of snap count. Yeah. Use them later when it's more important. But again, like, you got to win games, and this was a game. They had 3 possessions in under 9 minutes. Yeah, and 3 possessions under 9 minutes, down 8. 3 different times under 9 minutes, down 8, didn't score. But that also says something to the Commanders. They couldn't score to put the game away either. Yeah, with they didn't turn the ball over, but 193 yards, they were not moving the ball at all. 9 receptions, 125. Literally the same stat line for Travis Kelsey. Yeah. And Kyle Pitts has done enough for me to pick him up off the waivers and trade him as trade bait. So Kyle Pitts is looking better, but Falcons, I mean they're 3-3 in their division. The Saints are 3-3. The Panthers are obsolete, and I think that the Bucks are also 3-2. Yeah, so they have. I mean, they still have a chance to win it, but you've had a couple winnable games that Bijan that could make that difference, and you're not using it properly. Yeah, 2 straight, or 2 of the last 3. Yeah, Commanders lost 3 straight. They lost the Bills, Eagles, Bears, and the Bears is a bad loss because that's a loss that the Commanders need. These 2 teams are gonna. I mean, this game right here is gonna come down to a wild card spot, and now you got Commanders have the tiebreaker. Yeah. Yeah. Next game, and this is you, Josh. The ugliest football game. Vikings 19, Bears 13. Let me ask you this: you won the game, but what was it a win? That's my question. Was it a win? It was bad. Because now, you're only about 1 game out. Like the 2-4, you're 1 game out of the playoff spot right now. So it's not like you're out of it. You don't know how long Jefferson's. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and 19-13, you have the 49ers next. Would you have rather lost that game? Yeah. Would you have rather lost that game and not and just be completely out of it, or does this you won it? Does that give you hope that they're gonna do something, make a run for the playoffs in that last wild card spot? Well, you did win. The defense played well. Sorry, keep going. Yeah. Yeah, no. I don't think that if they went out and beat the Bears by 14-21 or something, I was like, okay, that's a good win. That was an ugly game right there. Um, and it took a bunch of right. Yeah, I don't think that was a good win. Um, Next game, Seahawks 13, Bengals 17. It was a fun game. The Seahawks had a couple chances to win it late. The Bengals offense, Burrow looks 100%. I don't think that the Bengals deserved to win that game. I thought the Seahawks were better, but they do win it. Um, yeah, Joe Burrow. He looks healthier, but only went 24 for 35 with 185 yards. So 24 completions, 185 yards. With your offense healthy, I think Jamar Chase in the first half had he only got 2 receptions in the second half. So he got 6 receptions. He's open 7-11, but not that game. Yeah, Higgins played, but he was limited with his rib injury. He has been horrific, but the bright side about the Bengals is the offense is finally getting healthy and the defense is playing well. That if the offense, which next week might be a test for them, They play. They're on a bye, and then they play the 49ers. Um, but they can play in those games coming off a bye week. If everyone comes back healthy, that's what 2 weeks of practice and getting yourselves in ready. Could we see the Bengals do what the Bengals do? Yeah. Well, he was moving around fine these last 2 games. Yeah, this game. I mean, the Seahawks defense is stingy. You know, and they did a good job of kind of controlling the time of possession. The time of possession, it might be, I can't find it, well, full team stats. The time of possession, I felt like the Bengals, it was 34-25, so they, about 10 minutes longer almost. Just a stingy team, but the offense was still underwhelming. And I think after this 2 weeks coming off a bye, I think they can compete in all their games coming up. Yeah. One of the surprising games, XFL legend PJ Walker and the Browns, the most surprising game. They beat the 49ers. I mean, Debo and McCaffrey went out. I think McCaffrey was out by halftime. I lost to TJ by 1 point, and McCaffrey played a half. And it scored 14. He outscored Eckler in a half. Lost to TJ by a point. It's so sad. But with no Debo, with no McCaffrey, against the top defense, Brock Purdy looked bad. But he looked great in the final 2 minutes, and then your kicker who hasn't missed that you drafted in I think it was the 3rd or 4th round misses a... Yeah. Now my question is, I know you have the timeout, but you had a first down, and you let the clock, or maybe it was a 3rd down, and you let the clock run from like 30 seconds to kick a 41-yard field goal, and you knew that it was a cold, windy day in Cleveland. Do you run one play and get a little closer? I get the point of kicking on 3rd down, but you were aggressive all game and you settled for a 41-yard field goal with a rookie kicker in not so great conditions after you played really bad and your quarterback had a great drive to end it. I'm just questioning I'm just questioning that if you are Mike Shanahan. Now with Debo questionable, McCaffrey questionable, no Justin Jefferson. Play a little guessing game. What do you think the line is? 49ers coming to my Minnesota 3.5. The line is -7 Niners. -7 Niners. Yeah, but I mean McCaffrey had an MRI and they said, I'm on McCaffrey watch right now, so yeah, right. So and it's a Monday night too. So here's McCaffrey's thing. Yep. Isn't considered to be dealing with a long-term injury, but could have a chance at it available for Monday's night game. A chance. Mason's going to be the back. Him and mixed with Eli Mitchell, but it looks like Mason took a majority of the play after, and he didn't look terrible, but God, I need McCaffrey to play. Here's the other thing, and it's tough to bet. I'm sorry to bet against the Vikings. I'm going to go ahead and say it. 49ers and Eagles. Actually, Eagles play the Dolphins next week. 49ers, and I might go Bills again because Bills look terrible. We'll talk about it. Get right team of the week. Parlay. Oh, yeah, no. And here's the thing, like, yeah, and I don't want to Danny Dime slander either, Tyrod looked good. I don't think Danny Dimes has looked terrible. It's just the situation he is in is terrible. Yeah. No, yeah. Slayton's good. I like Slayton a lot. Dolphins 42, Panthers 21, and this was the funniest game I think for me because I bet the Dolphins minus 14, and I was like, oh, they're gonna fuck my parlay, and they didn't. They went down 14, scored 21, and we're already up by 7 at half. And the 49ers ended up messing up my parlay. And the crazy thing is, I had only 49ers. I only had a minus 3.5. But anyway, Dolphins ended up winning 42-21, and honestly, it would have been 42-14 if they didn't put Mike White in to throw in that pick six to like with 2 minutes left, and I was like, oh my gosh. Then they cut it to 14, and yeah. So Tyreek is electric. Tyreek's on pace to shatter. He has to average 104 yards per game. I feel like every time I look, he's got 150 plus. He's had 163 on only 6 receptions. Went out with cramps, came back. Michael Jordan flu game. Mostert 115 yards. Tua 200. Mostert could be. I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to be robbed because DeMar Hamlin's playing games. But, he's... Yeah. There was another one. I forgot who. There's another good candidate for comeback player of the year. I'll have to take a look here in a second. But Dolphins... Oh, no. Gardner Minshew. Next game. Let's go ahead to it. Jaguars 37. Colts 20. Gardner Minshew 3 interceptions. Did throw for 329, but... yeah. I think ETN scored twice in 19 seconds. Yeah, that's something you hear about in hockey, not in football. Yeah. I have Kirk and Ingram. They played well. Not well enough to win. But, 11 from a tight end, you'll take it. Kirk, who's not my number one receiver, had 13. He's had... Week 1, he had 1 point. Weeks 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, he had 13 plus points and capping out at 21. So Kirk's just a nice solid play in your fantasy. He's getting looks. Ridley, I feel like, draws that double team, being as dynamic as he is. Kirk's just coming over the middle. Ingram made an incredible catch. Jaguars, since I made them get right team of the week, are back. They just got right the week after I said they get right team of the week. So if the Jaguars, since I have claimed fandom over them, living an hour and a half south, move like the Rams did, I'd just give up on liking teams. I might just become a Minnesota fan. Maybe we'll move to Florida. But I don't think that we have any concerns that the Jags are going to be NFC South champions this year. 4-2. 4-2. Here's the rest of their schedule. They have the Saints, but it's a Thursday night game, so that could be ugly. They have Pittsburgh, very winnable. They do have San Fran, so coming off a bye though. Then you have the Titans, Houston, a tough one in Cincy, tough one with Cleveland, tough one with Baltimore, Tampa they should beat, and then Carolina they should win. I don't think, maybe not a 1 seed, but they could be fighting for a top 3 seed. If they keep playing like they did against the Colts here, because the Colts had a great couple games the last couple weeks, and they're still not looking bad. 329 from your backup quarterback and Pittman, 9 for 100 in them. Yeah, because Anthony Richardson's gonna have season-ending surgery. That's right. Our underdogs, they win at home, 20-13. Texans beat the Saints. Were we the only we were the only underdog win. We had Chargers, Bears, and Seahawks. I do like the Texans. Can the Texans slide into the playoffs? Could they slide in? AFC's tough. Yeah, AFC's tough. Can they make it in? Let's look at our teams right now. I got a playoff view for the AFC. You know what? I could just share it. It might take a second, but yeah, it's similar to the Jags. You have the Chiefs, Miami. Those two. Bills. So Miami or Bills should win their division. Nobody else is coming out of the Chiefs division. I mean, the Chargers might, but Raiders are 3-3. Chargers are 2-3. Can the Texans outlast the Raiders? I think so. With their schedule they got. Raiders, have they played Kansas City yet? I don't think they might have. Let's see here. I can check. I got it right now. They have not played Kansas City yet. So you got Kansas City twice. Looking at fantasy, yeah. But I think that the Texans can outlast the Raiders. They got to outlast the Jets. They got to outlast the Colts in their division. But I mean, can they outlast the Browns or Steelers? And they got to outlast the Bengals. I don't know. It's so tough over there. They do, but it's so tight. Look at this. You got 1 to 12 seeds. All are 3-3 or better, or 500 or better. That is a tough conference. Looking over at the NFC, 1 through 10, so 2 less teams, but the Saints aren't legitimate. The Falcons aren't legitimate. The Commanders aren't legitimate. I don't think the Rams are legitimate Super Bowl contenders. The Seahawks, Buccaneers, I don't think legitimate Super Bowl contenders. If you have a healthy Niners, I don't think so. I think the Niners got to be favorites. You have Purdy as your number behind Goff. I don't know. It's so give or take. Like I think as a wide receiver group, I'm taking the 49ers with Debo and Ayuk. Oh, you got Amon-Ra, but who's your second receiver over there that you're going to take over Debo or Ayuk? Yeah, I don't. But the thing is the 49ers and the Lions, I feel, are built very similar. They're coached very well. But I think if we have a guy off, though, naming guys, the 49ers have more guys as long as they're healthy. But and we could sit here and name guys on both teams, and I just off the top of my head, I think there's just more better all around players if they're healthy. But I don't know. That is tough because you sit here and you really think about this Lions team, and we haven't even talked about the Lions yet, and we just keep bringing them up. The Lions team's good. Yeah. The Lions. I do. Oh, because they don't. But they might get a playoff matchup. Goff and Purdy. Oh, yeah. Can I tell you my favorite thing about the NFL? You just named a lot of teams right there, and that was the Lions schedule. My favorite thing about the NFL is I'm sitting here looking, and we've done this 5 times already. We look at the schedule. Oh, they don't have that bad of a schedule. Oh, they have a tough schedule. Oh, I don't know. You can lose to anybody, and I'm like, you're sitting there naming all those teams, and I'm making a case. Okay, well, they can beat the NFL is so great because there's maybe like 2 or 3 teams that you could say, oh, that's a win. But every other team, you're like, well, you can kind of make a case that's a tough game. Right. Like, I'm sitting there, well, they got the Saints. Well, the Saints can beat anybody because they just play so damn ugly. And they lose to anybody. The Titans play ugly football. The NFL's great. And anybody can beat anybody, and we saw it this week. Oh, no, yeah. The NFL is so much... And it has to be a ranked matchup, and sometimes that's like... You saw Oregon and Washington, not Oregon, Washington, Oregon and Colorado, 2 ranked teams. Colorado played great, and I had no doubt in my mind that Oregon was going to beat the piss out of Colorado, and they did. But you don't get that in NFL. Like, I even look at the 1-5, and we're looking at the 1-5 Patriots right now, and I'm like, they can compete with anybody, just because of their style of play. Which you do not have that in college football unless you're getting 2 powerhouse ranked teams playing each other. Raiders 21, Patriots 17. Better showing. But my favorite thing was Mac Jones just sitting in the end zone and taking the sack to lose the game. And then the onside safety punt. Have you ever seen anything like it? Oh, that was funny. I that's the game that I have not. There's not many games in a week where I'm just like, I don't want to watch this game. That game I did not want to watch at all. Yeah. Now, here's the interesting thing about the Patriots. Yeah, and here's the interesting thing about the Patriots. Did you see the Malik Cunningham signing? He, but the thing about that signing was they brought him from practice squad, and he signed a 3-year deal off of the practice squad. Are they gonna start? Is Mac Jones about to get benched for Malik Cunningham? Yeah, I'm for it. Rams 26. Rams 20. Oh, he can't. No. Oh, he did. Exactly. He threw exactly 200 yards. Ram 26, Cardinals 9. It hit. I mean, we had on the unders 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50%. Yeah, 50% took the unders. Was it 50 or 60? 50%. Yeah, 50% took the under, and that game was it hit. 9-6 at halftime. It was the classic Rams versus Cardinals. I know the Rams won a Super Bowl in LA, but they became so soft that they're not lambs over there. Their football is just ugly. Now I had. Is he out though? Yeah, let's see. I know Squawk has him, so. Yeah, because I saw a TikTok saying you need to pick up Zach Evans, was it? Who didn't, I don't know. But yeah, he's out, so yeah. So I think it was me and you that talked about Puka Nakua when Cooper Kupp comes back. So let's read stat lines here. Cooper Kupp's non-existent. 7 for 148. Puka 4 for 26. Is that going to continue, or do you think Puka's gonna? This is just an off game because everyone has an off game. Yeah, you got cut for a cup of nothing. Yeah, that was robbery. Um, Eagles lose to the Jets, um, and I think it was like the funniest fashion. The Eagles had the win, 3 interceptions. They had the win through an ugly pick for the Eagles to go back, and they just let Breece Hall walk in. I like the move on both ends. Breece Hall scored instead of taking the time down because he trusted his defense, and Hurts looked bad, but also right. Why? But the thing too, it kind of like I'm both ways on it. They let him score, but they had 2 timeouts, so they still would have got the ball with like 40 seconds left, and all they would have to do is kick a field goal, um, a field goal to win it, and you have AJ Brown in 40 seconds, and a very athletic offensive line. You could throw over the middle and spike it if you needed to, and you saw what Mahomes did in 13 seconds. Granted, he had timeouts, but you could get down the field in the NFL and right. Um, Now Jets are 3-3. Two things: they had 3 starting defensive backs out, one being Sauce, and then they had was it Reed? Is his last name? DJ? No, Reader's at defensive tackle. They had their other corner out, and then they had a safety out, and their defense was that impressive. Well coached, and then you also have Aaron Rodgers eyeing a Week 12 return after tearing his Achilles. Insane. No. Oh yeah. And Zach Wilson, let's see his box score real quick before we move on, because I don't think he played. Yeah, it's a backup. It's a backup stat. Backup stat. Yeah, exactly. Um, 3 more games left. Our favorite one to talk about. Goff threw for 353 and 2 touchdowns. Amon-Ra 12 for 124 and a touchdown. I don't think there was any doubt that the Lions were going to lose this game. Um, yeah, that's impressive. And I mean, they still have a very good offense. You know, with Baker, they out possessioned them by 13 minutes. I was going to say every time I looked up, the Lions had the ball, and with the backup running back or third string running back. But every time I looked up, the Lions had the ball, or Baker Mayfield was running for his life. Yeah, yeah. Lions are good. We talked a lot about the Lions. I think the most surprising should have been lost but win. Bills beat the Giants 14-9. Should have lost. The Bills scored all 14 points in the fourth quarter. And didn't score. They also had a mind blowing play that felt like I've seen run 20 times, and never succeed. You have the three guys in the back and try to run a double fullback lead. Or, Barkley's the third back on the far left, and he follows it and got stuffed like 8 yards in the backfield. Bills are my get right team of the week. I know they won. I don't feel good about that win. No. Two slop. I don't know. Not here. Their offense looked bad. I mean, James Cook ran for 5 yards a carry, and Diggs was 10 for 100. But outside of Diggs, well, Dawson Knox did play, but I know that the other tight end, Kincaid, was out. But their wide receiver core. I mean, listen to these names. Other than Gabe Davis, 3 for 21, bad. Dawson Knox was 3 for 17, bad. Quentin Morris, 1 for 15 and a touchdown. Khalil Shakir, 1 for 13. Boise. And then Deontay Harty, 1 for 3 and a touchdown. It sounds like someone's ripping off my name. Deontay Harty, Dylan Hartley. But Bills end up winning. I think I'm parlaying a get right. And I'm too scared to parlay with the Eagles into that get right because they have a tough one. But I think Bills and 49ers might get right team next week. And the 49ers play the Vikings, and that scares me. Last game I didn't watch because TJ. I watched a little bit, but TJ had CD and Eckler, and it was down I think it was 59 to 82, 59 to 80, and he beats me 81 to 80. No, Eckler looked bad. CD looked great. CD is joining the 7-Eleven club. He said it last night. CD's really good, and Jerry Jones last week said on a radio he doesn't want to get him more involved. Yeah. Yes. But 20-17, Cowboys win. Chargers another loss. They're one game behind the Broncos. In this season and last season for most 3-point or less losses. I think they have 7, or the Broncos had 7. They have 6. They're just charging their games. No reason why the Chargers shouldn't have won this game. I felt like they did a lot to win it and then just charged their way out of it. But it is what it is. Chargers. I don't think the Chargers make the playoffs. I don't think they make the playoffs. I think they're one of those teams that are good enough to do it, but they're just out. Yeah. Let's talk about the bye weeks because I think both teams lost the bye week real quick. Steelers lost the bye week because all 3 of their division won. And all 3 of them looked more impressive. But they also kind of get a mini win because they get Deontay Johnson back, and maybe that opens up a little more for Kenny Pickett. Hopefully he scores about 15 for me on fantasy. But that's a mini. Yeah. If they great, and they got a great coach. I don't think that. I think they lost the bye week. I honestly do. Especially with the Browns win over the 49ers. Yeah. Well, the Steelers already did, and they got thumped by them. And it shows that skill gap. But again, anybody can beat anybody. But I just think that the Browns were the team of that division this week. I also think the Packers lost their bye week. They are getting Aaron Jones back, but Vikings won an ugly one against the Bears. The Bears are going to bear, but the Vikings are now 2-4, and 1-0 in the division, and the Lions just keep separating. And I think that the Packers also, the Commanders won to go 3-3. That hurts a wild card spot because the Eagles are probably going to win that division. The Cowboys are going to probably make the playoffs. So the Commanders are now fighting in that wild card spot. Vikings are creeping up in the wild card hunt. The Saints and Falcons, even though they lost and the Bucks lost, they're all still in that wild card hunt. The Rams winning puts them back in it. The Seahawks are already in it. The wild card, I mean, it's sloppy over there. It's ugly football. But, just over, yeah. And I think they lost that bye week. Now let's see how Jordan Love comes after an extra week of preparation. Who do they have? They are at Denver, so a chance to play against a defense that's been playing poorly. But they did play well against Mahomes, but it was a Thursday night game, so wishy-washy, Let's do one more guess the line, and guess the line, and then what we're going to do is we're going to actually say bye-bye to Spotify and have a little bonus extra about 5 to 10 minutes for the YouTube. Guess the line, Packers at Denver. Packers minus 1.5. So you're right there. Yeah, 1.0. Yeah. So if you're listening to us now on Spotify, you can go to the YouTube. We are going to play 2 games on the YouTube. So yeah, they are tough ones. So we're going to cut the Spotify here. Thank you for listening on Spotify. We're going to try to continue this on Spotify. The thing is on this, we have to purchase it. I think we're going to end up making the purchase because pushing out on Spotify is going to be huge. And it's the only way I can find out to do it without downloading bootleg sites. So, I'm just gonna purchase it. We're gonna go on Spotify. We're gonna start continuing on Spotify, advertising it, and go from there. It's exciting stuff. So we're having fun, but we're gonna have a little bonus content at the end of every episode on the YouTube. Maybe start throwing this bonus content out on the TikTok. So, Josh, let's do it. You ready? Immaculate Grid. Let's do it first. Let me share the screen over here. Share screen and Immaculate Grid. And we have 2. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna do 4. We have another Chargers one. It's tough, but we can start out with 3,000 yards passing. Do we want to go Phillip or do we want to go Herbert? Let's do Rivers. That might have been the most guessed answer. And then we got Drew Brees. Yeah. And we could have done Jambo, but... And then we got... Do you want to just do Derek Carr? Did he get 3,000 yards? He did. Okay. This is where it gets tough. Panthers, Chargers. Panthers, Raiders. Panthers, Saints. Panthers, Saints shouldn't be that hard. This is... Did C. Smith play on the Raiders? I don't think so. That might be one that we look up after at the end. But I'm thinking, Saints. Andy Dalton played Saints, and Andy Dalton played a game this year at the Panthers. So Andy Dalton. Remember, they have to play a snap. Yes. Cowboys quarterbacks. I can't really think of any. Let's think receivers. Well, I have the jersey in my closet for the Raiders. Amari Cooper. I have the jersey in the Raiders jersey. Receivers, Cowboys, Chargers. Receivers, Cowboys, Saints. Who's up? Is he CD? No. Micah Gallup, Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks, Saints. I think that's where he started his career at, right? Is it Ian? Brandon, yes. He started at the Saints, right? He got it. This is where it's tough. Let's see. Receivers, DJ Brown. Or, sorry, DJ Moore. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Palmer. Where did Carter go? I just saw him. I think Carter was on the Raiders. DeAndre Carter. He dropped the ball the other day. Running backs. Cowboys running backs. D'Angelo Williams. I don't think he played for the Chargers. Who ran with D'Angelo Williams? Jonathan Stewart. Mike Tolbert. Do you think that's a Charger? Or a Raider? Is Mike Tolbert, was he a running back or a fullback? Dude, we want chart. Did Danny Woodhead play for the Cowboys? I know he played for the... Let's try Danny Woodhead. No. Okay, I'm trying Mike Tolbert. I know he played for these guys. He did. He played for the Chargers too. And he's in a Bills uniform on here. We have one guess left. Panthers, Raiders, or Cowboys, Chargers. I don't know. I'm striking out. We only have 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes left of our recording, so let's go ahead and give up and see what we got. Kerry Collins and Ryan Leaf. I mean, old school quarterbacks, but before our age, we're not that old. Yeah. All right, last one. The Weddle. The Weddle. Who are we starting with? Adam Thielen. A 6'2" wide receiver, but he's young and a low number, and he's in the AFC. A young 6'2" receiver in the AFC with a low number. Everyone's got a low number. He's too small. Yes. I mean, we can just see if it's in the division. Do you want to do Agnew? I think Agnew's too small too. What about Calvin Ridley? He's just a little taller. AFC South, so it's still AFC. Yes. AFC. Do you want to try Juju? No, Juju's not that old. How old is Devontae Parker? The only thing is his number's 1. So he's 6'3". So he's like 31 or 32. AFC West. Is it Keenan? It was Keenan Allen. Alright. And our last one. Do you want to go Adam Thielen again? Or do you want to go defense? AFC East on offense. And a low number. Oh, sorry. AFC offense, not in the East. Low number, small. This might be the Chase one. Wide receiver, number 1. Parker's too old. 2 was number 1 for the Dolphins. It's the Brax Barris is 0. And 2 was number 1 for the Dolphins. Bills, I don't know who number 1 is. I think it's 13. Who is the Bills? Or sorry, the last of it. The last in that division, Bills, Dolphins, Jets. Sauce is number one. Oh, sorry. Yeah. AFC South. It's not Calvin Ridley. Um, Not Calvin Ridley. Pittman is number 11. Where's Paris Campbell at? No, that's too old. This is like a rookie. Who's a rookie? Puka? No, Puka's 14. We got 2 minutes to figure this. A minute and a half to figure this out. We have. Okay, let's go. Campbell. He's number 0, and he's in the NFC. Okay. AFC West. Carter, DeAndre Carter. AFC South. It's AFC South team. Who's number 1 on the Texans, Titans? What number is Tank Dell? Tank Dell's number 13. Who's the Jaguars receivers? It's not Zay Jones. It's not Calvin Ridley, no. Colts or Titans? Gosh. I don't know either. Yeah, I have no idea. Well, let's just see if it's on the Jags. Calvin Ridley. I typed in the wrong one. Not the Jags. Colts. I mean, Pittman's... It can't be Pittman. He's on the Colts. Who's on the Colts? Who's the rookie that just got drafted from Tennessee? It's the rookie from Tennessee. The small guy. Not Hyatt. Is he from Tennessee? Is it Downs? It's Josh Downs? Was he from Tennessee? Let's see if he is. And we gotta get off. We gotta end it, but Josh Downs was from what? Oh, he's from North Carolina. Okay. Well, we did it, Josh. Good shit. Good shit. Well, do you got anything else to say before we leave? All right. Well, I did mark 2 clips, so that's good news. So we'll get those on TikTok later. But it'll probably be tomorrow when I can work on it. But I do gotta go take care of the baby. Hope you're all well. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. We're trying a new studio. I promise you, I'm gonna make this look a little more pretty. Maybe make a couple banners to cover up some stuff. But we're working on it. This is new.